God, it's me again. Back with the same heart, the same questions, the same hope, and the same need. I know I've said I'm back before. I know to wander, to drift, to disappear, shut down, but somehow you're still here. So let's talk about the return, the moment you come back to God. Not because you're perfect, but because you're ready. Nobody plans to drift, it just happens. Life gets loud, pain gets heavy, and faith gets quiet. And before you know it, you're praying less, trusting less, showing up less, feeling less connected. But drifting doesn't make you a failure, it makes you human. And God doesn't shame the drift, He waits for the return. I believe that many of us have drifted, we have wandered, we've disappeared, and we stopped showing up. We have. You can sit there deny, like, oh, I have it, I have it, I have it. Yes, you have, yes, you have, yes, you have. We've all done it. Because sometimes faith gets loud. And sometimes we don't want to admit our faults. We don't want to be there. We don't want God to see our faults and everything. Because that's me. I don't want God to see my faults because I feel like He wouldn't love me. And I know this season I've been talking about, oh, God's gonna love you, God's gonna love you no matter what. But then sometimes in my mind, I don't want God to see my faults because I feel like He won't love me. And I know that's kind of a way to be like, really, why would you think that? But honestly, you have those moments where you think God is not going to love you because you're of your faults. You are not doing this, you're not doing that, and that's just how it is. Let's be honest. Coming back to God is awkward. You feel guilty. You feel inconsistent. You feel like you should be further along by now. You start thinking, why would God want me back? Why would He want to listen to me again? Why would He take me seriously this time? But hear me. God is not rolling your eyes at your return. He's not tallying your mistakes. He's not comparing your past to your promise. He's just glad you came home. And I started thinking that, why would God want me back? Like there are many times I done strayed. And I'm like, why would He want me back anyway? Huh? I done strayed before. Why? I think right about my teen years, I was straying away because eh. And, I used to take. Sometimes I used to take God for granted. Like I would just pray for things I would want. Like I was like, oh God, I want to be this. I want to be that. I want you to allow me to get this. I want you to allow me to get that. Like I just only used to pray to Him for things I want. Like just what happens when I was in high school. I was a marching band. Yeah, and I wanted to be drum major so bad. Didn't get it, but that's beside the point. But I wanted to be drum major, and I was like, you know what, God, I want you to give me this. I want you to bless me with drum major. Thought I had it one year. Child, I thought I had it. Yeah, we already know how that turned out, but didn't get it. But anyway, by my senior year, we that was during COVID all the time, class of 2021. By my senior year, we didn't really have any leaders. The only leader we had was drum major, but we didn't have any section leaders or captains or anything because we didn't have a formal audition process. Because we had to get out of school. It was March 13th, 2020. We had to get out of school, so we didn't have any. We was out of school for real, for real. So when class of 2020 say, "Oh, they didn't get this, they didn't get that," I'm like, "Yeah, y'all didn't really get a prom. Y'all didn't get a prom. Y'all didn't really get a graduation. But I'm like, well, y'all got to celebrate y'all senior year, that first semester. Y'all did that. Y'all got to celebrate that. Class 2021, we didn't even get that. We didn't get to celebrate our senior year, no senior breakfast, no senior. We didn't get that. But anyway, that's beside the point. But anyway, back to my original point was, I just used to pray to God just to get things I want. And that didn't work out. But now that I'm in my 20s, I'm praying to God more. I think I came back to Him when I was like in my, I want to say 17. I think I came back to Him at 17. And I was 17, I came on back. I said, I just can't be praying to God just to get things that I want. I got to pray to Him every single day. No matter if it's things I want, things I need, I have to pray to Him. And so I came on back. And I tell you, my life has been going, it's been going great. There are a few stumbling blocks. There are a few weapons that have formed, but they don't prosper. That's because I've gave my life over to God. And sometimes there are points in my life where I do fall back, I do fall short, and I do go back to my old ways sometimes. But then it's like, you know what? I had to stop. I had to stop going back to my old ways. And one thing you have to do, make a list. I made this list New Year's Eve. I said, what I want God to do for me in 2026. Some of that stuff on that list, some of it on that list is, it's like normal stuff, but then the other that stuff on that list is stuff that I really need Him to help me with. And I think that's what everybody needs to do. Write down, get a piece of paper, or get a journal, because that's what I got. I bought me a journal anyway. Write down what you want God to do for you. Whether it's in 2026 or whether it's just in general. Write down what you want God to do for you. And write it down. Okay, you have 300 things, 100 things, 200 things, or 20 things. That is what you want God to do for you. And when I wrote down my stuff I need Him, I want Him to do for me, I started to see a change. I'm starting to see a change. That's before I wrote down stuff. I started seeing a change come on. And I'm starting to see stuff more clearly. And I'm praying more. I'm reading my Bible more. I'm living by the Word a lot more. Honestly, I'm not going to sit up and say, oh, well, my life is perfect. I'm doing this, I'm doing that. Oh, yeah, my life is great. Because, no, there are still points in my life and there are still times in my life where I have to come up at. I have to come out of some stuff that is going on. I have to come out of that. But I do have some points in my life where I am doing good. I'm doing great. There are points in my life where the stuff that used to bother me don't bother me no more. I don't worry about certain stuff. Some stuff I still do worry about because, hey, I'm human. I can worry. But there are points in my life where you will be like, you used to do this. Yeah, I used to, but now it's like, eh, eh. There's something holy about again, praying again, trying again, believing again, trusting again, and starting again. And that's what I started again. Because I had to. Again, it's not a sign of weakness. Again, it's a sign of faith. Every time you come back, you're saying, I still believe you're worth returning to. I still believe you haven't given up on me. I still believe there's something here for me. And if you're returning to God in this season, I want you to hear this. You're not late. You're not disqualified. You're not on probation. God didn't move. God didn't change His mind. God didn't close the door. He stayed. He waited. He kept the light on for you. And the moment you whisper, hello, God, again, He answers, I've been here the whole time. Thank you for listening to this season of the Christian J Show. And as we close this season out, I just I just want to say thank you. Thank you for listening to this season. Thank you for going on this journey with me. Thank you for listening, crying, healing, growing. Because when I wanted to make this season, I said I want to do a season about my faith. I want to do a season about my religion, about my spirituality. And when I think about my spirituality, and I think about my faith and everything, I realize that sometimes we fall short. We do. We don't always pray all the time. We don't always read the Bible all the time. We don't always do what God expects us to do. And when I was going through this episode, and I was going through these past episodes, back when I was kind of figuring out what I was going to do for this season, and I was getting to certain episodes, and I was writing down certain pinpoints I want to talk about. It's like there was you know how, like the movies, they have like the angel on one side, the devil on the other, and that's what I had on my shoulder. The angel was like, "You can do this. You got it, Christian. You can sit up there and do this season, because you never know. One of these episodes might touch somebody's heart." But then you had the devil on the other side. "You can't do it. Oh, you're never going to amount to nothing. Why would you be talking about this? No one's going to listen to you. No one's going to do this. No one's going to listen to your podcast. No one's going to listen to this season because you don't know what you're doing." And I had to sit there and tell the devil, "You shut up. You shut up, because first and foremost, I can do all things through Christ who gives me strength." Philippians 4:13. And I know the plans that God had for me to give me a future and a hope. Jeremiah 29:11. And one thing I am doing now is reading my Bible a lot more. Like, I don't know what everyone's going through, but one thing about me, I wrote down some scriptures because that's what I needed. And automatically I wrote it down, so I'm gonna share some with y'all. So maybe that if you need some, you might use these. Isaiah 54:17, Jeremiah 29:11, Psalms 51, Psalms 91, Philippians 4:4, Ephesians 6:10-13, and Joshua 1:6. Now, especially like Ephesians 6:10-13, because that talks about putting on the whole armor of God. And in this day and age, in this time, we need the whole armor of God on us, because the enemy is trying to get every last one of us. That's one of my favorite scriptures, and also Isaiah 54:17. That's one of mine. That talks about no weapon formed against you will prosper. There are some weapons that have been formed against me. They've been formed. But they won't prosper, and they aren't prospering. Because I've realized that when you believe, when you trust God, when you are talking to Him constantly, when you're praying, when you're reading your Bible, and you are trusting Him, you're living by His word. Even if you don't always pray, always read your Bible, but you trust Him. And I'm not saying, oh, well, you have to do what you have to do. You have to live by the word, because all of us aren't living by the word. All of us aren't living by the word. But we trust Him. We love Him. We honor Him. And we are doing what He says that we should be doing. But sometimes we don't live by the word. We don't always do what he says. But when you are doing that, God is right there with you. He will never leave. He will never forsake you. And when I say we don't always live by the word, yeah, we'll still double dabble in some stuff. Some of y'all still dabble in sin. Don't lie. Be like, oh, and I don't. Yes, you do. Some of us still double dabble in sin. We know. I know. But my thing is, when you have that relationship with God, baby, nothing, and I mean nothing, no one can come between it. That's where the weapon comes in at. They are the weapons. You have a relationship with God. You're over here. You and God, y'all best friends. Okay? You have a relationship with him. Right here. So you have the weapons forming. Okay? You have the weapons forming. They will try to come get you, but they're not finna prosper. They're not finna infiltrate your relationship with God. And I said about like music and movies and TV and books. That's what I mean. Like you can sit up here and say, "Oh, but I can't listen to that no more because it messed up my mind." Okay, you allowed it. You allowed a weapon to prosper. You allowed a weapon to prosper. But as for me, I'm not gonna allow a weapon to prosper. Look here, you could make your song, make your music. I might listen. I'm gonna listen because I love music. I was in band. Okay, I love I love music, so of course I'm gonna listen to music. TV, movies. I am a TV and movie fanatic. Okay, books. I love to read because I still have my books from back when I was in, I think, elementary, middle school. Diary with a Kid. Um, got him, Big Nate, Dork Diaries, all that. No, Harry Potter, all my Harry Potter books, The Hunger Games. I get to read like for real, for real. I don't read a lot anymore, but I need to get back. But anyway, all of that, all those weapons that could be formed, they're not going to prosper with me because I have a relationship with God, and I'm not going to allow anything or anyone to come in between that relationship that I have with God. So I just want everyone to just realize that don't have to you don't have to sit up here and say, "Oh, I can't do this, I can't do that," because anything is possible with God. And one thing about God, He's never going to leave you. He's going to stay right there. So thank you so much for listening to this episode and this season of the Christian J Show. And I can't wait to see you next time because it's going to be a whole new era. And the era is going to be good. Peace.